with a bunch of bullshit. Oh, I'm so excited. So I have mentioned recently on Twitter that I was loading my iPod with a bunch of CDs, and I have been, but I only got like 5 in before I got bored. So I was like, you know what would make this a lot less boring? Hanging out with people. So let's go! I have a whole stack of CDs. Let me just like move over here? Question mark? Let me pull up the webcam. It's very tiny because we also have the TV coming out. A bunch of CDs. a bunch of CDs, and this isn't even including my case that doesn't have the jewel cases. So, and there's another stack. I have a lot of CDs. I'm excited. And on top of the TV, we have good old Wikipedia. So we're going to be looking up some of these albums and searching for fun facts on the artists and the albums and everything as we wait for these to load in. Hi, Raska Sigma. Hi! I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but welcome! So, I think we can load in the first one. As you can see here, I have my handy dandy CD drive. And I think we're gonna start with Third Eye Blind, because it's a banger album. I think this is Semi-Charmed Kind of Life. I believe that's the name of the CD. Pop it right in there, and hopefully it'll load on my computer. And I mean, I have it through an extension cord, so I really hope it doesn't take forever to load. But while we wait for that, Third Eye Blind! Do I have to open iTunes as well? Sometimes I pop it in and it just auto opens iTunes. Sometimes not so much. You're just imagining that someday some kid is going to ask, what's a CD? Basically. Do kids even know what CDs are? Do they? I keep hearing something go bum bada bum on my computer. We're not off to a good start. Okay. So I might have to put this directly into my computer and not through an extension cord, which is unfortunate because I thought it was nice and aesthetic, but that's okay. I'd rather have working and a little bit less aesthetic than aesthetic and not working at all. Eject. Let's try this thing again. Come on, Billie. Hi, come on through! I am trying to get my disk drive to work, and it is not working. You hope they do. Let's see. Oh, it comes up with multiple matches for this CD. So Third Eye Blind. Yeah, I think it's just Third Eye Blind. This might just be a self-titled album. Import into my library. Perfect. Now we can go back to Wiki. This gun, yeah! So, Third Eye Blind is an American rock band formed in San Francisco in 1993. So, before me. After years of lineup changes in the early to mid-1990s, the songwriter duo Stephen Jenkins and Kevin Codagoin made their first label with Elektra Records. I feel like we know Elektra Records. Who do they do? They're part of the Warner Music Group. Cool, cool. Who else do they do, though? Artists. Sometimes you just gotta click things. They did AC/DC. Okay, cool. Avril Lavigne. Very nice. I don't have an Avril Lavigne CD. I feel like I need to get one. They probably do somewhere, actually. I have like a whole box of missing media. I am a big a physical media collector, if I haven't gone through this before, but I have a bunch of CDs, obviously. I have a bunch of laser discs. I have VHS. I have actual physical video games and consoles. It's great. I love collecting media. Especially because they started changing things. Does anybody else notice that? Some things are just different. Like Mandela effect. Bernstein Bears. So, Elektra Records did the Beatles, right? Did they do the Beatles? No, I read that wrong. The Bangles. Oh my gosh. Mini dyslexia moment. But they do Bruno Mars! I mixed the Bangles with Beats International and like my brain just read the Beatles. Who else do they do? Jackie Chan, apparently. I didn't know he did music, but cool. What else do we know about them? We're already halfway through the disc. This is ripping fast and like fantastically. So they did write their music, but they were struggling to hold together a consistent musical lineup. Ooh. I didn't know they wrote their own music. Oops, I'm highlighting everything. Mah! Stuff is always changing, including our perception of the world itself. This is true. Very true. Let's see. Just Want to Be Your Friend on a soundtrack for the TV drama Beverly Hills 90210. Has anybody seen Beverly Hills 90210? And does that hold up? Because I've been very curious about it. I've heard so many things. I've heard people who love it and I've heard people who hate it, and I'm very curious. I've been watching like a bunch of random shows. There's a bunch of music CDs somewhere around here. You know nothing? That's okay. Let's see. They broke up shortly afterwards, and after it was and while it was short-lived, the group was first connections into the industry. Yeah, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life. Ugh, banger. That's on the CD, right? I'm gonna be really mad. Yeah, no, it's number 3 on the CD. I also like London. And Jumper. Jumper is a great song. Let's see. Timeline. Let's look at the timeline. Jump down here. So Stephen Jenkins was there like the whole time doing lead vocals and guitar. And it looks like he did a little bit of keyboard too, if this graph is to be trusted. And then the second longest lasting member appears to be Brad Hargraves. I know nothing about these people. I probably should. Let's learn a little bit more about Stephen Jenkins, because he seems to be the main guy here. He was also part of the short-lived rap duo Puck and Natty. I'm wondering if I have the CD. I might have the CD. I could be wrong, but I think when I was going through the media collection, I saw this name. They released 9 more albums! Oh my god. That's a lot of albums. Blue, Out of the Vein, Ursa Major, Dopamine, We Are Drugs, Thanks for Everything, and Screamer. Well, Third Eye Blind is finished ripping. Let me pull that out real quick. And I have 2 Shania Twain CDs, so we can go deeper into her lore. You're gonna notice here that my musical taste is all over the place, as if we didn't already know that. But we have this Shania Twain CD and this one. Obviously, you know, Shania Twain of like, Let's Go Girls. And what's the other one? That Don't Impress Me Much. Any Man of Mine. She is an icon. We're gonna start with Shania Twain, The Woman in Me. Oh my god, these names are so cheesy, but I kind of love them. Get that in there. Do a deeper dive on Shania. She's Canadian? Okay, well, I'm already learning something new. How many songs does an album usually contain? Usually like 14. I think some albums can have a few more, some can have a few less. Like this one, the first Shania Twain CD I showed has 12. You sold all your CDs and DVDs to a disc replay years ago? Oh my gosh, I sold so many as a kid. I sold so many. I donated so many too, and I regret it because there are some bangers that I have not been able to find again. But they're so good. They're so good. And there's something so nice about being forced to listen to the whole album. You know? Like, every good album has one main song, but there's something so nice about like sitting down and listening to all the surrounding music that came out with it. I don't know. It's nice. It's like having like a playlist, but of one person. I don't know. I love CDs. I also have some cassettes, but I don't know how to do that. Straight up. I don't know how I would convert cassettes to iTunes. Oh, no, import. I accidentally clicked stop importing. Ah! You're sure you would be the same, but you can't even remember it was over 1,000 DVDs and another. Oh my gosh! That's so many! Oh, I have one CD, and this is the third copy of the CD that I've had. Because when I was little, I got 2 for Christmas. My grandparents got me one, and my mom got me one. And somehow I lost both of them over the years. And then I had to rebuy it. But this time it was only $6, so... Let's see. What do we know about Shania Twain? Starting in the 90s, so you had a lot. That's great, though. Oh, I'm sure they loved to get your collection. I'm sure they were so ecstatic to get your collection. I remember one of my friend's dads, they had like a whole wall of CDs that he had been collecting. I don't even know how long, but that's where I like really realized what dad rock is. Because he had so much dad rock. They were extremely happy. I bet. Oh my gosh. I knew someone who worked at like FYE and would get so excited for certain CDs to come in, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, like Billie, guess what? Guess what I got?" But half the time they'd end up just like buying them at a discount for themselves instead of like putting them on the shelves even. Let's see. The CD that we are currently importing sold over 20 million copies worldwide and spawned 8 singles, including Any Man of Mine, and earned her a Grammy Award. Damn! She's so accomplished! Come On Over produced 12 singles, including You're Still the One from This Moment On, That Don't Impress Me Much, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman. That's the next CD! Oh my gosh! So all of these songs got awards. This is fabulous. The majority of physical media you have are PS3 games. Oh, well that's nice. It is nice to be able to give like content and media and stuff away to people who like could use it, you know? Instead of just like donating it to Goodwill and hoping for the best. Because you never know who gets it at Goodwill. But when you have people that you can actually pass it down to, it's nice. It creates bonds. Let's see. We are in the career part of this wiki. Or are we just in the description? We're just in the description. We haven't even gotten into her early life. Eileen Regina Edwards. I legitimately thought Shania Twain was her real name. What? So she was born to Sharon and Clarence Edwards. Okay. She has 2 sisters, Jill. Parents divorced. She married John Twain. And they had a son, Mark. So how'd she get the name Shania? How do you... Honestly, like, I know everybody in Hollywood, or practically everybody in Hollywood, has a fake name, like, or a stage name, but, like, how'd you come up with Shania? You reinvested your collection money into tabletop games? Ooh, I mean, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. I love games. That's another thing I have a big collection of. I have a lot of board games. So many board games. And, you know, I'm planning to move relatively soon, and I cannot part with any of them. I keep trying, but I cannot part with any of them. I'm like, this is too good. And I'm like, the only reason I don't play them right now is because I have no friends. But what if one day I have friends and they want to play board games? What if I get rid of Tiddlywinks? You know? Shania Twain sounds hillbilly, so that's probably why. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, she is country, but at the same time, she is one of the pop girlies. I feel like The Woman in Me CD is definitely more country than Come On Over. I think Come On Over is where she kind of pulled like a Taylor Swift and switched from country to pop. And I say pulled a Taylor Swift, even though Taylor Swift came way later. That's another CD that I'm missing that I don't know where it went, and I'm a little mad about it. I had like 3 Taylor Swift CDs, and I don't know where any of them went. Ugh. One cannot part away with board games, right? Oh my god, I'm still steaming. I'm still steaming about this one board game I had. It was Disney Trivia, and it came in a circular gold tin, right? And it had like this, I forget what the board looked like, oddly enough, but it came with these 2 little mouse shoe pieces. I can't think of the word right now, but like game pieces that you would move around the board, and oh, I was so good at it. I was so good at it. But it was such a cool tin, and it looked so aesthetic. I love that game. I miss it. Disney Trivial Pursuit. I think you're right. I think you're right. Hold on, let me turn the TV off, and I'm gonna Google it real quick. I saw it at half-priced books recently, and I was like, oh, I should buy this. Oh my goodness, yes. It looks as though it wasn't actually Trivial Pursuit, it was just like their own branded Disney game. Oh. Okay, well, we're gonna look at this eBay listing, I guess. Because it's the only one that has a picture. And I will turn that on. Boop. But like, look at this. Look at this. The Wonderful World at Disney Trivia game from Mattel. You have this Monopoly that you bought to play with guys, and it's been sitting somewhere for a time. I have like 4 versions of Monopoly, and I never play it. That's like the one game I never play. Because every time I'm like, I could play Monopoly, it's like, I could play Payday. Which is a whole nother game. It's like, it's literally based on getting paid, getting your mail, getting the bills, and making investments, and hoping that they pay off. It's so nerdy, but I love it. Oh, the CD is done, so let me pop the other one in. But, like, where are the game pieces? They don't have the game pieces in this kit, apparently. They have these little things, but there was these big shoes. They were little, but they were big. They were like Mickey feet. Let me swap these CDs real quick. That amazing ASMR of opening and closing. It's probably not going to catch. It's a great sound, opening a CD case. Now I gotta make sure I don't accidentally mix up my Shania Twain CDs, because that would be a tragedy. Import, thank you very much. But this was such a good game. Anywho. You have or you're always the first to go bankrupt, and you have Warhammer Monopoly? I've never heard of that one! The game has no actual strategy, and if you know how to play, it's just roll the dice better. Oh my gosh, accurate. Accurate. They can take forever, though, to play Monopoly. I have Monopoly Express. I have Monopoly based around the town that I used to live in. I have Classic Monopoly, and I have Monopoly Empires. Is it Express or Duos? It might be Duos. There's like one where it's a really fast-paced Monopoly, but like, oh my gosh. I hate being banker. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the banker always loses. And I don't know. I have like superstitions with board games. Only if you play with people who don't know how to play, which usually is most of the players when it comes to Monopoly. I mean, that's fair. I feel like if there's one game that you should know how to play, like generally speaking, it would be Monopoly though, right? Because it's so classic, you know? But they do always change. I used to have a Disney Princess Monopoly that was like definitely made for kids. I won a board game basket. In elementary school, we had a raffle and I won this big basket of board games. And it came with Disney Princess Monopoly and SpongeBob Life. 2 games that I still desperately wish I had, and I'm like, I don't know why a teenage me thought, oh, this is a great time to get rid of some board game. Now I'm a hoarder. I'm a hoarder now. I can't throw anything away because it's, I always think, what if I want that someday? And then I prove myself right down the line. People make up a lot of rules. All you need to do is roll the dice and buy every property you land on. That's true. That's true. In the official Monopoly rules, though, you're supposed to auction off the property. Hi, Dennis! I don't know. I feel like there's so many house rules in Monopoly, but there's also so many real rules that everybody ignores. Like, I don't think I've ever played Monopoly where anybody's actually auctioned off the property if it gets landed on but not bought. I've never played that way, but that's in the official rules. Lurky lurkin. Good to know, thank you. What's another one that has a lot of house rules? Uno. I know it's not really a board game, but a card game. Oh my gosh. Uno has so many house rules. You used to play SpongeBob Monopoly? The discussions that used to happen when you played was wild. Oh my god, yes. That's the best part about board games. It's like you can take your time, you can chat with your friends. Oh, I miss that. I miss that. When I move back home, that's the first thing I'm doing is I'm hosting a game night because I'm like, I need to play games with people. But freaking Uno, they have so many house rules, and my favorite of the house rules is stacking the pluses and the skips. So if you have a +2 and somebody else has a +2, you can just keep stacking them, and whoever it lands on who doesn't have a +2 or a +4 then has to pick up that many cards. So then you like pick them all up, you count them, and you're like, okay, I have to pick up 16 cards. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then you could skip skips. That's like my favorite. It's like, skip you. No, skip the next person. Your friends act like a literal mercenary when you play. Oh my god. That's the best. I miss a board game night. Trying to think of other games. Has anybody played Quelf? Quelf is ridiculous, but it's so fun. Quelf is like this game. It's somewhere between a card and a board game because the board's really only there to keep track of like where everybody's standing. But with Quelf, you pick up a card of a different color. So like if you land on purple, you pick up purple. If you land on blue, you pick up blue. But they each are corresponding to a different action. So like one of the cards is I think it's music or action. And when you pick it up, you have to like play the national anthem through your nostrils. So you'd be like, and it's great. It's great because it's so silly. Quaff. You need to see when you played TTRPGs for the first couple times. It was just the best. It's an amazing game. Sometimes you have to write like a sonnet to another player or act out charades. It's so good. It's so good. I have so many board games. I love board games. Let's see. Okay, so next up, apparently we have Frozen, which I found for $3 because I never pay full price for anything. I don't know why I have the Frozen soundtrack. Do I want both CDs? Yeah, I'll take both CDs. They were smart. They separated the good songs onto 2 different CDs, so you have to download both. Come on. Oh no. Trying to be delicate with these CDs, but they don't want to go on the little nubby part of the CD holder. Or CD disk drive. Bye, Commanthro. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Disc 1. Various artists. Imports into my iTunes library. Let's see. How many songs do I have here now? I don't know if it'll let me see. This CD has 32 tracks. Because not all of them are necessarily songs. Well, they're songs, but they're not like lyrical songs. There's like instrumentals. You know? I'm trying to think of other board games because I'm on a little roll with board games right now. Cards Against Humanity is awesome. It's a card game, but I love Cards Against Humanity. I also love the Game of Things. It has like the vibe of Cards Against Humanity, but you, instead of just like having a card that you can play to answer the question, you have to think of something. So it'll be like things that you do in the shower or things you don't want to say to your mother. And then you have to like write them in. And on that same note, they have like the Game of Nasty Things, which is the more adult version of the Game of Things. And in that same line, Awkward Family Photos. Oh my God, I just remembered Awkward Family Photos. Awkward Family Photos is such a fun game because it's literally a board of the most awkward family photos you can ever find. It's a 2-sided board and it comes with matching cards to the pictures, and you roll a dice and it gives you a category and like a question where it's like, what are the people thinking in this photo? What did the photographer say just before this photo was taken? How are the people related? Things like that. And you can write in your answer for that. And it's board games. I love how this is supposed to be about music and I'm on about board games, though. Why am I like this? Why can't I stay on track? Does anybody ever expect me to stay on track, though? That's not where I meant to go. Look up Frozen. Is there anything we don't know about Frozen? Probably not. Apparently, it is not the 2010 one. Oh my God, I've seen this movie! I've seen this movie! Totally forgot it was also called Frozen. Of course, I can't get it to be, like, very big. But he gets stuck on a ski lift. It's him and another person, and then, like, one of them jumps down to go get help and breaks their legs, really, and they get, like, attacked by wolves, and then the other one pisses their pants and gets stuck to the bench. Like, it is gruesome. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Frozen! If it fits, CDs and board games hold hands in some extent. That's true. That's true. This is a completely different Frozen. We are talking about the animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios. Selective memory is a blessing. This is true. This is true. It's a blessing and a curse. Because, you know, sometimes you want to remember things, and even when you want to, you can't. Like, speaking of things I wanted to remember to show off my, like, wicked sick iPod mini. Like, look at this color. This color is the color of, like, Britney Spears blue. I literally named my iPod Britney because it reminds me of a specific, like, I want to say tube top, but it might have been a mini skirt, but, like, same shape, you know? And it was sparkly, and it was this color, so this iPod's name is Britney. And I have little matching earbuds because aesthetics. I love it. It's Britney, bitch. It's quite some more, right? I got this one. I used to have a Zune. I don't know if anybody remembers what a Zune is. It was basically like a big fat iPod. And it was my sister's, and she loaded it with like so much music, and that's how I've learned like half of the music that I know actually is through that Zune. But the battery died on it like completely. You can't recharge it anymore. It wasn't that fat. I'm gonna find my Zune. I still have it. Hold on. It was fat. Compared to the iPod mini, Where was it? Should be in my miscellaneous tech box. It was iPhone versus Android. I mean, kinda. Gonna have to like hover the screen a little bit, but like this is significantly bigger. Like just looking at the back. There was a Zune Mini too. Oh my god, I didn't know that. I genuinely didn't know that. But like, look at this frosted pink. It's kind of dirty, but like, this frosted pink goes hard. I'm glad you know what I'm talking about, though. I was like, nobody remembers the Zune. I wish I could get that to work. Like, I could probably find a way to replace the battery, but I feel like if I replace the battery, it might just, like, reset the whole thing. I don't know. It probably wouldn't, but I have a fear. I have a fear. It's like when you replace the battery in, like, a Game Boy game, you know? You always got music not from iTunes. That's fair. That's fair. I'm, like, kind of the same way. I used to get them from, like, LimeWire. Throwback. But these days, I have so much CDs. And, like, the nice thing, too, is, like, once I get a CD, I have that for travel, or I can load it into, like, a stereo. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the CD out because it does not want to come out. What the hell? What was I saying? Oh, once you have the CD, you can, like, play it in your car or in a stereo. You can always attach the iPod to, like, an iHome or just auxiliary cord it to something, but I don't know. I'm just tired of paying Spotify prices, you know? Screw Spotify. And their business practices are a little shady. A little bit. I don't know enough to make, like, a full statement on that, but I know enough to say they're a little bit shady. When it comes to music, you have a preference for music videos. Ooh, that's true, that's true. Some music videos are so cinematic. You know who's really getting music videos right is Sabrina Carpenter. Like, people have a little bit of mixed feelings on whether she's a psyop or not. I don't think she is. She might be a Scientologist. I don't think she's a psyop, but that's a whole nother story. But her music videos are on point. Like, she has a whole cinematic universe being built through Espresso, Please, 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 Please featuring Dolly Parton. It's amazing. Especially the more theatrical ones. Yeah! Yeah! Oh my gosh. Who else had a really good one? There's this one, like, country music video that I think is so funny because it has, like, the Muppets in it. But it's about this country couple and it's so silly and stupid and I love it. You know when you have, like, a bunch of music videos in your head and, like, you cannot think of any of them, like, the second you go to be like, ah, la, la. Anywho. Sometimes my brain spaces a little bit, but I love music videos. I used to sit there and watch music videos and lyric videos because I was like, well, I gotta learn the lyrics and I gotta see what she's talking about. Ariana Grande had a couple really good music videos for a minute there. So did Ice Nine Kills. I really miss, like, 90s music videos, though, where they're just dancing terribly, like, into the mic and just staring at the camera, like, specifically, like, Hinder Level. That might have been 2000s, but Lips of an Angel is the funniest music video to me because they're trying to be deep and they're trying to show that the song is about, like, cheating and, like, it's really good to hear your voice, saying my name sounds so sweet, whatever. But he dances like a T-Rex. Like, his arm is bent and he's just flopping around with his arm bent up by the mic, and it's great. Sometimes they just run away from us. They really do. My brain always feels put on the spot, even though it's not, like, a spot that's very significant. Usually it's just like, oh my god, cannot compute. And you commit them to memory as accurately as you can. And that's cool. Oh my gosh. I remember when I was a kid, I used to read this book called like Cam Jensen, right? And she was a detective and she had a photographic memory, but it worked like not at all how a photographic memory works. And she would just look at something and go, click. And she would commit that scene to memory. And I've always wished I could do that, but like in video format. That would be really helpful for what you're talking about. Is like if you're trying to commit a video, like a music video to memory, you could just like click and then have it just stored in there forever. That's a great book series. We are on track 17 of 23 of the second disc of the Frozen soundtrack, for what it's worth. I also have the Titanic soundtrack. I don't know why I also have the Jurassic Park soundtrack. Why are my CDs soundtracks? I mean, I know this is a banger, like, welcome to Jurassic Park. But I don't know if we need to immediately download the soundtracks. I do love having that, though, like, on a playlist. So, like, I don't know, if you enter the zoo, like, that's a very specific time, but, like, entering a zoo, entering a nature place, like, a nursery, or if you're going to the mall on Black Friday, just starting the Jurassic Park theme song, it's such a way to go. It gives a whole vibe. And the CD is imported. Let's see, what do we want to download next? Maybe some Stevie Wonder? I thought the CD was missing, and then I found it, and I'm very happy about it. Since you were a child, remember seeing a scene of, and it was a beautiful scene in a cartoon movie, and feeling sad. When I'm gone, I can't take it with me, so you started trying to remember it. Oh, I feel that. I feel that. That's so sad. Not being able to remember how things felt when you were a kid is, like, I think a big problem with, like, parents these days. Like, nobody remembers what it's like specifically to be, like, a teenager. I feel like a lot of people remember what it's like to be, like, 5. Not actually the memories of being 5, but, like, people remember and, like, are like, oh, yeah, like, you know, there's just a kid. But then you forget, like, the teenage angst, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of parents forget teenage angst. And it's always different for each generation and stuff. Oh, you wouldn't even forget it after your death. Oh, that's so sad. But it's also kind of sweet. Haven't we all? That's what this planet creates, is just pure existential crisis and dread. We gotta combat it somehow. Oh, I almost spilled my bottle of 70% rubbing alcohol, so if any of these CDs are super gross, I can just and clean it. But I'm gonna move that further out of reach. Stevie Wonder, The Definitive Collection. Let's see, what's on this album? Ma Chérie Amour. Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours. Oh my god, I love Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Superstition. That Girl. I Just Called to Say I Love You. Part-Time Lover. Ooh. I cannot wait to put this on. Already, like, there's 21 songs on this album. It's a best of album, so naturally they have more songs, but I don't know. I kind of like that sometimes because it's like now you get to hear a little sampling of everything they've done. I'm trying to figure out what Willie Nelson CD I want to get, because I have one on record, I think Always on My Mind, and I don't know, I really like that one, but I'm like, I already have it on record, so getting it on CD seems redundant. You were younger than 10? Oof. Oof. Well, you remembered that. I wish I could commit things to memory better. I have, like, really bad short-term memory. I don't entirely know what that's from, to be honest. That could be a handful of things, but I have bad short-term memory. And long-term memory. I just have a bad memory. Let's see. Oh, he's Gahanian. Gahanian? Gahanian. He was a child prodigy who signed with Motown's Tamla label at the age of 11. I didn't realize he started when he was so young. That's wild. Fortunately, you can improve your memory. That's true. That's true. You can do stuff to improve it, but like, I don't know. I've always been like a puzzler. Like, I love puzzles. I love word puzzles. I love puzzle games. I love math puzzles. But because I've always been told they help your memory. Like, I love mahjong. Anything with pattern recognition. But like, I'm great at pattern recognition. I'm bad with memory. Let's see. He was the third of 5 children. See what his legacy. He's one of the most notable popular music figures of the second half of the 20th century. He is one of the most successful songwriters and musicians, virtually a one-man band during his peak years. His use of synthesizers and further electronical musical instruments during the 1970s helped expand the sound of R&B. Why can't I read? Like, I can read really well, except out loud. I can't read out loud. Ah! Consistent statements with complex sounds. His classic period, which culminated in 1976, was marked by his funky keyboard style, personal control of production, and his use of integrated series of songs to make concept albums. Ooh. His first digital recording and one of the earliest popular albums to use technology, which Wonder used for all subsequent recordings. Stevie Wonder's journey through the secret life of plants. Oh, cannot read. Am I illiterate? It could be trained in its own way. That makes sense. That makes sense. Critically acclaimed singles or albums and hit singles. Ooh. His classic period is generally agreed to be between 1972 and 1976. Some observers see aspects of 1971's Where I'm Coming From as certain indications of the beginning of his classic period, and its new funky keyboard style that Wonder used throughout the classic period. Very interesting. He has multiple periods of time. Like, that's crazy that you've been doing music so long that you have multiple periods of, like, artistry, you know? That's wicked cool. What is this album? I don't think I need the Hannah Montana Forever album. But what I do need is No Doubt, because this is a banger album. We all have times when reading is a hassle. They classified the eras of musical artists on terms such as classical, interesting. Well, I think it's more to be like his, like, not his singles as a youth, but like the next stage of his career and the sound that he's probably most known for. Because it says over in the side that the next period would be commercial albums, and then 1990s is Jungle Fever and 1996 Olympics. So, like, it's probably just coined different eras of his own artistry, you know? Sorry we can't deep dive on every single artist that we're putting in here, because that would take forever. But now that we're doing No Doubt, let's learn a little bit about Gwen Stefani and the girls. Just doing the quickest Spark Notes. I should find like a website that just gives you the Spark Notes of these people. Let's see. So they formed in 1986 and lasted till 1989. Or no, they didn't end in 1989. That was their formation years. And they had a couple lineup changes. I misread. But then they put out their self-titled debut album, which is the album that we're doing now. Or no, is this Tragic Kingdom? Yeah, okay. So it looks like Tragic Kingdom came out after the self-titled album. So I have Tragic Kingdom. And this album allowed the girls to achieve mainstream commercial success. No Doubt began touring in support of the album late that year. Grew into a 27-month international tour. That's more than 2 years! The second single, Spiderwebs, was successful, and Don't Speak. Ugh. Also, I'm Just a Girl. Music can be such an interesting topic, right? There's so many layers to it and like so much behind the scenes stuff. It looks like they had a reunion comeback tour in 2008 to 2013 while Stefani was promoting her second solo album. So they worked on a new album without her. Songwriting was slow as Gwen Stefani at the time was pregnant with her second child. Oh. Very, very interesting. Are they actually like doing music still? I didn't know that. So in December 2022, when asked about a reunion, Stefani said, "What are the odds of anything? I was just on the Drew Barrymore show and she's one of my favorite celebrities when I was a little girl. Now I'm just on the show with her. Anything can happen." Everyone is, right? Like all the 90s people, Blink-182 did an 8-month tour that sold out in like 5 minutes. However, when Nick Harka interviewed Adrian Young's AKG Stories Behind Sessions and asked him if he would see any more No Doubt music, Young replied, "I don't think so. I think Push and Shove will remain our last album. Unfortunately, I don't see us touring anymore either. I could be wrong. You never know. Things could change." Interesting. So Gwen Stefani's like, "I'm down," but it sounds like Young is like, "Nah." Which, you know, is fair. On January 30th, 2025, No Doubt performed another reunion show initially planned as Gwen Stefani's solo concert to support the aid and fundraising in response to the January 2025 Southern California wildfires. Ooh! I do love when bands get together to support a cause, like even after they've broken up. Like, this is kind of nice that they've performed for fundraising for this. That's very nice. We're in the modern era of music, you assume. Anything that came after jazz. Yeah. No Doubt's musical style, it's ska. Ska, pop rock, new wave, alternative rock, pop punk, reggae fusion, and punk rock. That's a lot of genres. But they've also been described as synth pop, electropop, dance hall, third wave ska, post grunge, funk, and disco. I've never heard No Doubt being classified as disco. Who called this disco? David Brown, August 2nd, 1996, Entertainment Weekly, called No Doubt disco. I'm gonna let you finish, but I don't think it's disco. I would go with ska or like reggae fusion. There are definitely some songs in there that are a little bit like more reggae style instruments. But yeah, ska punk alternative rock. Very good. Push and Shove blended pop rock, new wave music. Wait, they were on Gossip Girl? Another show that I haven't seen, but I've been considering watching because I feel like I'm a little bit like out of the loop. Gossip Girl, 90210. Stop scrolling up and highlighting everything. Jeez Louise. I kind of want to watch more like chit-chatty, drama, gossipy shows. I miss the drama. Oh, speaking of things I've watched recently, totally unrelated to anything. But I finally finished some series. I finished Akiba Maid Wars. I finished A Place Further Than the Universe, and I finished Amagi Brilliant Park. They've been on a to-watch list forever, and I finally finished them all. The good old considering watching. Yeah! Well, sometimes you consider watching things, and then sometimes you have to, like, actually watch them. I have a list. I have, like, an ongoing list of things to watch, so I do consider them frequently. It's just a matter of, like, sometimes I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm like, well, what do I want to watch? And then I'm like, I don't really feel like starting something new, so I'll rewatch something like Golden Girls, because, like, I don't know if I've ever shared this, but the Golden Girls were one of my, like, biggest obsessions in, like, high school. Watch them years later. Yeah! There's something about, like, nice about watching shows that you don't have to wait, like, for the next season. I have a problem struggling watching the next season, or waiting for the next season. That's how I fell out of love with The Walking Dead. I was, like, so on board with The Walking Dead, and I think I started watching it season 4 or 5 is when I started to get into it, but I started from season 1, and then I had to, like, wait for the next seasons, and it took forever, and I didn't want to wait. I'm impatient. But yeah, Golden Girls was my biggest fucking obsession. I love Betty White. Betty White is the epitome of a perfect person in my brain, and I know if I'm wrong, I don't want to be told I'm wrong, because Betty White, her love of animals, her feud with Bob Barker, her comedic timing, her willingness to work until she was like nearly 100. I had tickets to go see her 100th birthday special, and then she died like a few days before it, and I was so sad. Following episodes after episodes, waiting for the next one can be a hassle, right? Binge watching is the way. I love Betty. While we wait for the last 2 songs on Tragic Kingdom to come up, let's just look at Betty White. Yeah, 2021, and I'm still not over it. I actually named my car Betty White because, like, she's white. My car is white. And she's old. So that's the only details I'll give on that. But I love Betty White. She was the first woman to produce a sitcom after moving from radio to television. She's just so good. She's so good. She was born in Illinois. She was in Hot in Cleveland until 2015, and then she died, like, what, 6 years later? Oh, Tragic Kingdom downloaded. Imagine planning your 100th birthday party and passing a few days before it, right? It was tragic. I think, did Bob Barker make it to 100, or did he also die shortly before his birthday? Because, like, I feel like we've had a little bit of that going on lately. No, not Boob Barker, Bob Barker. Oh, he made it to 100. Or no, he was a few months away. 99. He died in August. He was born in December, so. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Let's see, what's the next album? I guess we'll go right on top. We got the Pink Misunderstood, which is spelled like misunderstood. Brilliant. Urban pop was like a big thing in, I want to say 2001 is when this album came out. Either 2001 or 2003. 2001. But this has the classic Get This Party Started from Pink. And as you can tell, because I thrift a lot of my CDs, the case is busted. So busted. I don't really know anything about Pink. Like, you know how there's some celebrities that you just absorb random knowledge and information about? Like, I don't know, the Kardashians, Taylor Swift. Who else? There's people you just absorb information, and you're like, I don't even know how I know that. But Pink is one of those people that I know literally nothing about. Other than she had some bangers. Reminds you of an old man answering a reporter, and the question was, how does someone live for as long as you live? Or as long as you... And his answer was, you just have to not die. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I feel like a lot of people think there's like a secret potion or secret way of life or hobby or just like... I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like there's a secret ingredient, I guess, to life. And I feel like it's just not dying. It's like taking just good enough care enough of yourself to not die. I feel like a lot of things that are supposed to make you healthier gets found out later anyways that they're not as healthy for you as you'd think. Like, I'm pretty sure aluminum foil and parchment paper aren't even that good for you when they reach certain temperatures. Like, but what are you gonna do? Live your life without using tinfoil? What's the alternative? You can't, like, I don't know. You gotta live your life, no fear. Also, do you see this cute little... Honk, honk. Hee hee. My highlighter holder. We got Goose. Goose on Goose. Let's see if we can learn anything about Pink while we're over here, though. Drink water, do exercise, practice fighting. It's a good beginning. That's true. No, not Pink the color. Pink the artist. There we go. Not to be confused with the Pink Singers, a charity choir. Okay, I didn't know that there was the Pink Singers. You know, she's another one who I knew Pink was a stage name, but it never really clicked in my head that her name wasn't like Pinkie Pie or something. I don't know. Alicia Beth Morehart. Alicia Beth Morehart. That just doesn't sound as hardcore, like as punk. The TV is suspiciously pink. I meant to change it out for one of the other colors we downloaded from there. I think I just realized I have to make sure that that is linked in the description. Because it was for a really long time, but then I didn't use it for a while, so I'm just hoping that it is. If it's not, I'll have to link it after stream, because I have the link to it, but I will add it back in after if it's not. I'll double check. I'm gonna make a note for myself. I like to give credit. TV link in description. Add. There we go. I got myself a little note. It is very pink, though. It's very bright. I do kind of love it, though. I think I just need, like... It clashes with my room a little bit, you know? But that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It means it looks lived in. But I think there is another one that might be, like, a blue one? Let me see. Props? There's a blue one that kind of matches my iPod. I don't feel like swapping it out, though. That's fine. Let's see. Speaking of Pink, at the age of 15, she performed in a short-lived girl group called Choice. I've never heard of Choice, but interesting. Her first solo studio album was Can't Take Me Home in 2000. And it was a commercial success. Very cool. When did Misunderstood? It was 2000, I think I determined 2001. So was it after Moulin Rouge? Yeah, because in 2001, Pink alongside singers Christina Aguilera, Maya, and rapper Lil' Kim performed a cover of Lady Marmalade for the soundtrack of the film Moulin Rouge. became the most successful airplay-only single in history, as well as Pink's #1 single. It's a great freaking cover. Let's see. She didn't want to be marketed as another cookie-cutter pop act, and she wanted to be seen as a more serious songwriter and musician to perform the type of music she wanted to. She took her sound in a new direction. You know, I am very interested to note, that didn't make any sense. I found it very interesting, and I noted that Steven Tyler is on one of these tracks. I don't know if it says it here, but it's Misery. And I was listening to this album, and I didn't know he was on it, but I was in the car, and then I heard the sound of a donkey going in reverse, and I was like, oh, Steven Tyler's on this album. I don't know what it is. He sounds like a donkey in reverse. You can't take this one silly song from your new game. Your brain just goes, Henry, our hero, Henry, the fellow who helps his fellow man. That's great. But freaking, I don't know. Has anybody ever noticed that? That Tyler Perry, or not Tyler Perry. Oh my God, wrong Tyler. Steven Tyler. I forget which band he was in. He has one of the long hair bands, and he has a weird tongue. He sounds like a donkey in reverse. A donkey in reverse? I'll have to find a soundbite. I don't know where I'm going to find that, but I will find one because he sounds like a donkey in reverse. Donkey braying in reverse. Like if you reverse the sound. That is not the right noise. I don't want to log into Facebook. The hees and haws of donkeys. Okay, I'm not gonna find what I'm looking for right now, but of course I keep trying. Okay. This noise. I'm gonna put on my desktop audio so you can hear. There's one specific way he carries out a note. It's not every note, obviously, but there's some notes that he hits that it just sounds donkey-ish. I can't help but feel that way. You get what I mean? Thank you. That's all I'm asking is to be understood, unlike Pink in this misunderstood album. Which, by the way, is one song away from being done importing. Oh, I spoke too soon. It is 0 songs away from being done importing, apparently. The fun part is going to be loading a bajillion songs onto my iPod later. I have a feeling it's going to take a really long time. It'll probably be fine. If you're wondering what CDs I have managed to get on here before today, because I did mention on Twitter that, or X, I guess, however you want to call it, that I was downloading or importing CDs. I have Michael Jackson's Bad, Will Smith, Big Willie Style, Bryan Adams, The Wreckers, and Sick Puppies, which was actually the first CD I put on here because I can listen to this album on repeat anytime. Yeah. So in total, this is where we're at with CDs that have been actually imported. And now we just have an even bigger stack to import still. So we're gonna do Gretchen Wilson's Here for the Party next, right on top. I have terrible taste in music. I'm recognizing this as I'm importing my CDs that I don't have. But it's fine, it's fine. This one. Perfect. Import. And this one only has 10 tracks. That's not bad, that's not bad. I'm gonna take a quick water hydration break. Reminder to drink your water. Gotta stay fueled, gotta stay fired up. Let's see. What do we not know about Gretchen Wilson? I don't really know anything about her other than I was obsessed with her as a kid. Boop. She was born in Pocahontas, Illinois. Another Illinois person! We just learned Betty White was born in Illinois. She came out with her award-winning single, Redneck Woman. One band that you like from the back in the day is the Bee Gees. Ooh, I do like the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees are pretty nice. I always get them and the Beach Boys confused, even though they have like a pretty different sound. But because their names are so similar, you know? But I do like the Bee Gees. They do... Hold on. I have them on a playlist. I have to look them up again. Because I'm like, I know they do songs, and I know I like them, but which song is on my Folgers playlist? I have a playlist called Folgers because it's the best part of waking up. Let me see, let me see. Come on. My phone is at like 9% and it's being extra slow today. Oh, and of course, now that I don't have Spotify Premium anymore, it won't let me actually look at my playlist. That's fine. Staying Alive. That's on there. I swear I had more. But I might also just be confusing them for the Beach Boys, because I have Wouldn't It Be Nice and Good Vibrations on this playlist as well. Surfin' USA is on here. So many Beach Boys. I think I got them and the Bee Gees confused, but I do like them both. Let's see. I know she did, like, some sort of show at one point, I thought, but maybe I'm wrong, because I don't see it listed here on the wiki. How Deep Is Your Love, Staying Alive, and some more kick your mind from time to time. Ooh! I do love How Deep Is Your Love. My love for that song's pretty deep. Apparently she performed Barracuda with Alice in Chains and Nancy Wilson on guitar at the 2007 VH1 Rock Honors. That's pretty impressive. But her time is up because her CD has imported because she only had 10 tracks. Let's get her squared away. Do I really want Katy Perry? I'm gonna put her in the maybe pile. And this isn't the Killer album that everybody knows, so like, eh. Eminem Curtain Call, however, heck yeah. There's one song on this album that they played at my cousin's funeral. Like a long time ago. Or no, it's not from this album, it's from Encore, isn't it? Which album? Hold on. Eminem. Let's pull up Eminem real quick. Artistry. Collaborations and productions. Legacy. How do I find... Can I, like, search? Might have been Curtain Call too. I don't know. Of course, I'm struggling to think of the name of the song. Everybody to the left, everybody to the right. Let's see, what is Curtain Call to? It's not Curtain Call to. Yeah, it's Encore. Let's see. It might have just been Encore. Am I dumb? One second. Sometimes I get on a bullshit, like, rabbit hole of, like, something I want to share, and then I can't remember the name of things. Encore lyrics. Was it just Encore? No, not Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. So all my people on the left, all my people on the right, swing one last time. that was like legitimately played at a funeral that I went to. Anywho. I mean, like, when you think about it, it actually kind of works because, like, I don't ever want to leave the game without at least saying goodbye. All my people on the left, all my people on the right, swing one last time. It was more of a celebration of life, too, than, like, a funeral, but... New year, new phase begin. Look who's got you going crazy again. We came here to set this party off right. Let's bounce tonight. And if they don't let us in through the front, we'll come through the sides. Hell yeah. It's a great song. Great song. Totally unrelated to this album, apparently, though. I mean, kind of. Oh my gosh, and this hasn't even started importing because I forgot to click the button. I thought I clicked the button. Bah! But the album that we have down or importing right now, it has Stan, which I've always said, Stan is one of those songs that dismiss. I think people got the message of wrong because Stan has encouraged like Stan culture, if it makes sense. It's influence. That's where we get the name Stan from. Okay. So, like, Stan culture, when you, like, completely unabashedly, unconsequentially, fucking unconditionally love an artist, right? And you stan them, and all you post is their stuff, and, like, you know what they're doing and where they are all the time. You follow their career super closely, right? And freaking... the whole reason they call them stans is based off of the song Stan, which in the music video and in the song in general, it's about this guy who's so obsessed with Eminem that he ends up killing his pregnant wife by putting her in a trunk and driving off a bridge. Because Eminem didn't respond to his letters because he was busy. And, like, it's just about, like, how toxic following celebrities who don't know you can, like, really be, you know? The rabbit hole goes deep, and this Goose Alice doesn't even consider how she'll get back. Someone say creepily close. Yeah, creepily close. But, like, ugh. You would think that, like, something like that would be taken as, like, okay, maybe we should step back from, like, hardcore following these celebrities and, like, take a breather. But everybody's like, oh, Stan, I like the sound of that. Yeah. The song he tells in the story isn't true, But it's basically how he like mentally took all of the people. He said he like received many disturbing letters from fans who appeared to have taken the album's violent content seriously, encouraging him to write a song and addressing these fans directly. So, you know. Let's see. The song tells the story of stop highlighting! Of a person named Stanley Stan Mitchell, voiced by Eminem, who claims to be Eminem's biggest fan, and it has suggested the name Stan is a portmanteau of the words like stalker and fan. Although it is unknown if the name was chosen with that intention, the term Stan has since become an internet slang term for an extremely obsessed fan of something or someone and is derived from the song's title. He writes Eminem several letters over 2 verses. He is shown to be obsessive over the rapper and grows increasingly frustrated when there's no reply. He creates a voice recording of himself while driving his car on the highway, having consumed large quantities of depressants and alcohol. And this verse includes a callback to Eminem with My Name Is, with the lyrics, I drank a fifth of vodka, you dare me to drive, as well as a reference to the common urban legend surrounding Phil Collins in the air tonight about that guy who could have saved that guy from... about the guy who could have saved that other guy from drowning but didn't. He reveals that his pregnant girlfriend's tied up in the trunk as he approaches the bridge, realizing in a panic there's no way to send the tape to Eminem, but it's too late. The verse ends at the sound of the car swerving off the bridge and hitting the water below. Which, like, there is a lot of dramatic irony in this, because Eminem starts writing back to him at one point and then realizes it's the guy who drove off the bridge. You think that after you go too deep in an obsession, the person can't see a way or stop or doesn't want to anymore, like an addiction? Yeah! Yeah! It can be risky. Hella risky, you know? Obsessions go hard. I mean, like, I get obsessed with things all the time, but I tend to get obsessed with, like, shows or, like, food or, like, art, you know? I don't fully understand the actual obsession with people. I think it's funny as a joke, you know, when you're like, oh my god, I stan them. For sure, like, that could be funny. But sometimes people don't joke. People are crazy, man. It's funny, though. Sometimes. It's funny when it's funny, and then it's, like, not it's funny, haha, funny, weird, sometimes, depending on the situation, you know? I don't know. I just love that this created, like, a whole freaking culture on the internet that is so ironic, is all. We have 2 more songs, and like downloading or importing. 1 more song importing. Of course, every time I go to say how many is left, it just like that, it's done. But Stan, the live version, is the current one that's importing. It's better to be obsessed with things than people, although it depends on the level of obsession. That's true. That's true. You could have like a mild obsession, you know? Like you could have like a really strong dedication without being weird about it. But like I think about Chapel Roan all the time and like how she got yelled at for calling fans out for being crazy because they weren't even her fans. They were just people who were like kind of internet stalking her. And she called them out and like the media was like, oh no, she can't take people loving her. And it's like, no, she just didn't want to be stalked at an airport. You know? So next we're working on Miley Cyrus Bangers, which is a great album. I think Miley Cyrus was so misunderstood in her youth, and now everybody looks back and they're just like, oh, wow, she was a girl with feelings. Like, there's a lot of shit on here that's relatable as hell when you're, like, 22, you know? Also, she was in the spotlight. She was under so much stress. Like, ugh. I remember one of my friends cried when she found out Hannah Montana cut her hair. And I was like, girl, she's not a child anymore. What is in here? Oh, stickers! Stickers! Love the nudie Miley sticker, but like, I'm gonna put these on things. Hell yeah! I love when albums come with things inside them. Like posters. I like that the lyrics all come inside the CD case on like a little pamphlet book. I love CDs, man. Also, look at the little weed sticker. Like, that is so cute. That's so cute. And the emojis and Miley Cyrus and bangers. Like, ugh, I love it. Deluxe edition, I think. It's explicit version. It doesn't say deluxe. But sure. Import. We're getting somewhere though. Look, the stack is officially bigger than the other stack. That means something. If I don't add back in the soundtracks that I want to add. This isn't even all the CDs that I have. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's wild. I have... Where's my little case? Hold on. Because I have a little case. It was on my table. That's next to my desk. I don't know how I'm gonna fit this in shot. Or if I can fit this in shot, but it's a big ol'... It's got, like, food stains on it. Big ol' 4-disc on each page. That's halfway full. CD case. That eventually I'll get to. I don't know if I'm getting to that today. I would like to get through this stack, though. It's working! Yeah. Hell yeah. So things I do know about Miley Cyrus already is she wasn't born named Miley, but she had the nickname Smiley, and they ended up legally changing her name to Miley because it became a nickname. Food stains, so you know it's good. Yeah, that's from, like, eating and driving, specifically eating probably McDonald's chicken nuggets with their barbecue sauce. That's probably barbecue sauce. Trying to shuffle through a giant CD case. Let's see. Billie Ray Cyrus. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like everybody expected Miley to crash out and, like, stop being famous, but Billie Ray Cyrus, like... Speaking of crashed out, he crashed out. You find it interesting when people change the name? Me too. Like, I do find it interesting, but I feel like she just was never really a Destiny Hope, you know? They named her Destiny Hope, but they named their kids, I think, after things they want them to be, like, at least that's what it sounded like when she was explaining, like, they wanted her to have a destiny, and they were hoping for her destiny or whatever. But then she was Smiley, and they were like, oh, well, we like Miley. Smiley Miley. I also know that Dolly Parton is her godmother. And they're, like, super close. Yeah. Expressed her parents' belief that she would accomplish great things. Her parents nicknamed her Smiley, which they later shortened to Miley because she often smiled as an infant. In 2008, she officially changed her name to Miley Ray Cyrus. Her middle name honors her grandfather, Democratic politician Ronald Ray Cyrus, who was from Kentucky. And her godmother is singer-songwriter Dolly Parton. This I all knew. I knew all of this because I was a big Hannah Montana fan. And that was back in the days when I would go on rabbit holes about every single thing I watched. I would read all of the IMDb facts and trivia. For you, it depends on why someone changes their name. Yeah. It can be weird when people change their name, but I feel like since all celebrities have a stage name, sometimes they just change it to make it easier for, like, assets and access. Against the advice of her father's record company, Cyrus's parents secretly married on December 28, 1993, a year after her birth. They had 2 more children. Yeah, you know, they probably shouldn't have gotten married. Because if I'm not mistaken, they had a messy divorce. Then there was Miley, who had a messy divorce with Liam, but, like, honestly, I think she came out better on the other side of that. Whereas Billie Ray Cyrus, I think, crashed out a little bit because Miley has always said, like, there's, like, an interview where she says how Billie Ray Cyrus lets the fame get to his head way too much. Which I believe, because the way he presents himself is just completely different to how Miley presents herself to the public, if that makes sense. just different paths. But speaking of Miley, Bangers is done. I'm surprised at how fast this process is going. If you go to one of the sites that says the meaning of the names, you would see yours mention something like Lord or Savior of Humanity. Shut up, ego of mine. I love that. I don't think I've ever looked up the meaning of Billie. What does Billie mean? So we got Carrie Underwood next. This is Play On. I don't believe this is the one that has Before He Cheats. This is significantly later, where she does like Cowboy Casanova, Mama's Song, Temporary Home, things like that. This is like, I feel like a sadder album than Before He Cheats, for sure. It's a deeper album. I don't know much about Carrie Underwood, but I like to keep it that way because, I don't know. There are some country singers that it's like, I feel like if I learned about you, I wouldn't like you as much. And Carrie Underwood is just one of those people. Like, I know she was an American Idol contestant. I think she was one of the first American Idol contestants, if I'm not wrong, which is neat. But sometimes she does crazy things. Yeah, she rose to prominence after winning the 4th season of American Idol. Who was the first season of American Idol winner? I think it might have been Kelly Clarkson. Winners. Series overview. I don't have a way to widen this. So Kelly Clarkson, then Ruben Studdard, Fantasia Barrino. Who else was on here? I feel like Clay Aiken wasn't a winner of the same season that Kelly Clarkson was on, but he went really far after the season wrapped up. Is it just me, or does do the people who win these shows don't actually get that much fame anymore? I mean, Jordan Sparks did, but I don't know any of these other people. That has a nice ring to it. What does Billie mean? Yeah, what does Billie mean to you? Let's look it up. What happens if I just type in Billie? A unisex name, it is a variant spelling of Billy, which is a nickname for William. It's masculine and feminine variants. It also has the feminine nickname for etymologically. Unrelated names such as Lillian, both Billy and Billie are often used as independent given names. The Billie has recently become primarily feminine use, when spelling Billie is more common for males. Okay. So what is the etymology? Is it just means I'm less than William. Well, no, it's ETYMOL. Wait, hold on. ETYMOLOGICALLY. So it's like if you put etymology and logically together, etymologically. That sounds like a fake word. But apparently this just means that I'm diminutive of William and its male and female variants. So I guess we'd have to go to William and see what this name's etymology is. A direct cognate in the Old Norse name. Compound of will, wish, desire, and helmet. So a helmet wish? The making of 2 words. Those 2 words should never have gotten married. That's all I'm gonna say. Those 2 words make too long of a word. Let's see. That's pretty much all it has there. There's a lot of popular Billies. Billy Allen, Billy Anthony, Billy Barry, Billy Bennett, Billy Bird, Billy Black. There's so many. Billy Blair, Billy Boulay, Billy Bro. I can't read all of these. There's too many. Billie Eilish is listed on here, obviously. Billy Hayes. I feel like I've heard of that, or that person. A lot of these I haven't, if I'm gonna be honest, but a lot of them are actresses, and I don't keep up with actresses as much as I would like to. I kind of want to pay more attention to the credits at the end of movies just so I can like know who's who, and or just read the IMDb pages again. I need to get back into that habit. I miss that. I miss knowing everything about something that I've watched. The problem is sometimes it comes off as obnoxious when I'm just like, actually, or did you know? Because I do that a lot. I do that a lot. When I like have a little fun fact, I'll literally just be like, fun fact! My friends had to be like, Billy, shut up. Nobody cares about your fun facts. And I was like, oh. The meaning of Billy is resolute protector or willful protector. This meaning is derived from the Germanic elements of will and helm. Yeah. I'm a protector! That makes sense. I'm a goose. I'm a goose. I'm a protector. I'm protective. That makes so much sense. Did you know that in history there was a guard goose? Like, some people have taken up to actually getting guard geese because they're really good at it. They'll get attached to you, and then they'll honk at anything that's not you on the farm or on the property. But there is a historical time, yeah. So guard geese have been used throughout history, and in modern times in ancient Rome, they're credited by the historian Livy for giving the alarm when Gauls invaded. So when the Gauls invaded Rome, they had guard geese. They were subsequently revered in the Supplicanum annual sacrifice, and the Romans later found a temple Juno, to whom the geese were considered sacred. I had a whole temple! A honking farm goose! Your friends just ignore you when you go with one of your moments of talking about stuff they don't care about. Yeah, I didn't have great friends at the time. I have better friends now. They live far away. One of these days! One of these days I'll move back to where I have all my good friends, and then I can just fun fact them to death. And they won't care, but some of my old friends. Yeah. They weren't just like that with fun facts, they were like that with like a lot of stuff. But you know what? We move on. Due to their tendency to make noise while approached by strangers, about 500 geese were used to supplement dogs, drones, and human patrols in the 533-kilometer boundary between Changzhou and Vietnam during the COVID-19 pandemic. An official command commented that the birds, one of the most common livestock in the region, are sensitive to sounds and can sometimes be more aggressive than dogs. So this doesn't even like have to be that old of like a time period. In 2019, guard geese were used. They're utilized to monitor the fence at prisons in Brazil for incursions because of their low cost and the fact that they don't respond to food bribes like dogs. Would you look at that? Geese are protective. This is amazing. You can get a guard llama? I'm sorry, it says see also guard llama. I didn't know you could do that. I'm just reading. But yeah, they use them out at fences and prisons in Brazil because they don't take food bribes. I've never heard that either, but I'm intrigued. I personally can be bribed with food, but most geese cannot. But a guard llama is a llama that is used in protecting sheep, goats, and hens or other livestock. I like how this is like, oh, let's talk about music, and I'm going down random Wikipedia rabbit holes. But that's like fine, honestly. I like Wikipedia rabbit holes. Let me not export. Remove the CD because I can't think of the word. Next, we're going with Jessica Simpson in This Skin as our next CD to be popped on in. There's only like one song that I really want off of this CD, and it's With You. But I'll import the whole CD, because why not? It won't take that long. Import. God, we do find the ways of weaponizing everything, don't we? I mean, you said it, I didn't say that. But apparently. But freaking the tangents are an unexpected part of the content. This is true. Guard llamas may defend against predators in many ways. Llamas are instinctively alert and aware of their surroundings. And they make a startling alarm call that sounds like a rusty hinge. Do they sound like donkeys? Wait, hold on. What noise does a llama make? Llama noise. Is my desktop audio still on? We're gonna learn this together. I'm not hearing an alarm cry. Is it that like noise? Ah! He looked at me! I wasn't expecting that! Sounds like a bird pretending to be a baby goat, right? That doesn't sound real! That doesn't sound real! I don't like that. I like llamas, but now that I know they sound that weird, I don't know if I want one. Who made llamas sound like that? They may walk or run towards an intruder and chase or kick or spit at it. They may stand apart from the group and watch the intruder, although llamas have been known to kill. They kill predators such as coyotes? They should not be considered attack animals, but they kill coyotes! The fuck? They're so soft and flat. Llama pajama. They kill coyotes? Check the sound of goats if you. I've heard them scream because I've heard the Hold on. I know. I got you. I know what they sound like, but I'm gonna play the standard time-tested true. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead because I don't want to get like super copyrighted. So like I don't want to play too much Taylor Swift. I feel like she'll come for me. But yeah, everybody's seen the goat video. No wonder people used to sacrifice them to the devil. I mean, it makes up. It adds up. It tracks. What the hell is a lamero? Lamero. People who drive llamas. What? I didn't know there was a name for that. So are you saying that the wandering trader in Minecraft is like a lamero? Lamero? They don't have the breakdown of the word here, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Also known as pastores or caravaneros. Indigenous peasants who run llama caravans throughout the Andes of South America. Interesting. I didn't know there was a name for that. But that's very interesting. Apparently, historically used by Andean people for transport of goods with modernization of transport of Bolivia, as well as climatic and economic changes. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh my gosh, livestock guardian dogs are some of the most beautiful dogs that I have ever seen. Like, look at the sheepdog. Look at that. It looks like a golden retriever almost, but like bigger because it's the size of a freaking sheep. They're more muscular. They're very athletic. They're very protective. I want one of these. I want a farm and I want one of these to protect my farm. In Portuguese, it would be called caravaneiros. Caravaneiros? They never use that word. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a word that most people would use every day because the fuck? A person who herds llamas? Not very common, I don't think. I mean, they might be, depending where you live, but have to have a lot of llamas. There's like, I think there's a website where it gives you a certain amount of clicks and like you have to connect something to something else on Wikipedia. And I'm very tempted to play that sometime because like, I'd love to see how far down the Wikipedia rabbit hole I can get. Most people would probably just say the dude with the llamas, right? Right? Or like a shepherd or like a herder. A herder. Oh, Jessica Simpson is done cooking. I can pull her out. What I love about this little freaking gem that I got at the thrift store, look at this time capsule, okay? Not only is it a Jessica Simpson album, but they have a like, when first comes love, first comes marriage. Watch the Newlyweds. This was like from 2001, and they just put this little MTV advertisement in. You can hear the notification? Perfect, perfect. I don't know if it was too loud. I'll turn it down a little bit so it's not super loud. But I'll leave the notification on so that if I'm stupid and I don't notice it immediately, you can yell at me and be like, Billy, change your disc. Next we have Elvis. 30 #1 hits. Because we got the king of pop. The king of rock? The king of pop, right? No, pop is Michael Jackson. King of rock. But, you know, for this, I have to pull out. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're gonna just, like, sit Elvis. Why not? Bring Elvis out. 2001 was an important year. For sure. So many changes. The CD does not want to come out. Oh, there we go. But this is kind of a nice package design. You pull it out, you lift that up, and then it has little Elvis hair. Very neat. Very neat. The dolls are invading! Absolutely. Gone but never forgotten. They'll always be back. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Ah. His hips are broken. He has never been very, sturdy. His legs have always done the wibble wobble. I don't know if that's intentional so that people can make him dance or if that was just like a happy accident, but I'm here for it. The king. We'll make him hold my iPod. Take good care of that now. Don't drop it. Sir. There we go. There we go. You miss stuff like good packaging. They're charming. Right? Right? Quality. Quality packaging. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So there's, Miniverse or Make It Mini. I forget which. I think there might be a slight difference, but they might be two different brands, but they basically do the same thing. But Make It Mini has a bunch of little minis that you can make, right? Like, hence the name. And I got one that's like a little birdhouse. I haven't put it together yet, but it came with like a little animal carrying case, and it has a bird and 3 eggs and a nest in the little carrying case. And then there's a separate box with instructions and product, like how many pieces are in it and everything. That's actually the birdhouse. And then when you pull it out, it's all rubber banded together to look like it's been tied together. And it's so cute. And you can actually build it. And I'm like, oh, quality packaging. I'm such a consumer. So some people still have it, right? Elvira, no, Elvis Presley. He's sexually provocative performance style. Sounds nice. It's so cute. It's so cute. I also got one that's like a little teacup, but it comes with a mold for resin. So you pour the resin in and then you cure it with a UV light, which is why I got the UV light. And then it makes a little cup and it looks like glass. And it's so cute. But it comes with like all this little stuff that like actually makes it feel like you're opening an actual package and not just a doll toy. It's great. So let's see. What do we know about Elvis? He was often teased as a kid who played hillbilly music. He was a devotee of Mississippi Slim's radio show, and he was described as crazy about music by Slim's younger brother, one of Presley's classmates. When his protege was 12, Slim scheduled him for 2 on-air performances, and Presley was overcome with stage fright the first time, but performed the following week. Interesting. Even the king had stage fright! That's a good moral. Most of the good packaging you see nowadays is from expensive stuff, and occasionally someone who cares to add the experience of the customer. Yeah. I noticed that, like, a lot of packaging, like, from small businesses and local businesses tend to be really nice. But, like, on a commercial scale, it's usually not so great. But that makes sense, right? Like, smaller businesses, they care more about retention of customers. They care about the experience. They care about just, like, the feeling you get when you open the package. Big commercial industries are just like, they get what they get. That adds. That tracks. Makes sense. Because they're doing it on, like, usually a larger scale and for, like, a lesser price, whereas somebody doing a small business might increase the price a little bit for the materials and everything, but because they have that added cost, they want to give you a better experience. It makes sense. Yeah, mass production and normal production, for sure. I feel like I don't know anything about Elvis, but the CD's almost done. It was almost frightening, the reaction that came to Elvis from the teenage boys. So many of them, through some sort of jealousy, would practically hate him. There were occasions in some towns where Texas where we'd have to be sure to have a police guard because somebody always tried to take a crack at him. Wow! I thought people just loved Elvis. I didn't know the men wanted to kill him. Very interesting. How do we wind up talking about the economy? We were talking about packaging of the CD, and then I went on about packaging of Make It Mini, and then we went on about packaging from small business versus commercial business. So, train of thought somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. Blue suede shoes was an improvement over Perkins in almost every way, according to critic Robert Hilburn. Not cricket. Oh, okay. Well, Elvis, your time is up. We got completely sidetracked once again. Let's pop this bad boy back. Ah. There we go. And then we have Maroon 5, which is this CD even in here? It is, it is. Boom. Look at that design. This reminds me very much of my Cyndi Lauper CD in design on the actual disc. The Cyndi Lauper CD is like white with a orange, either V or a striped pattern. That's what happens when two people are inclined to tangents and you're in a conversation. Exactly. We can't help ourselves. It's all tangentially related. It should have been a tangerine. Then I could make more tangential jokes. Would have been wonderful. I am so yawny. Yawn, yawn, yawn. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through the stack. This is so many CDs. I underestimated. I underestimated. Sometimes you click things and you're like, oh no, why'd I click that? But it did. I don't know. The tangerine of thought, yeah! Let's see, let's look at rockabilly, which is one of the earliest styles of rock and roll music. It dates back to early 1950s. I'm gonna just click a bunch of things and see where we end up. So I clicked hillbilly. I'm gonna click... I don't know what I'm gonna click. Frontier. Go to Outback. I want Outback Steakhouse. I haven't been there in a very long time. I don't even know if they're open anymore. But like Outback Steakhouse. I want steak. Is that random? That's kind of random. I hear Outback and immediately I think, steak. Oh look, we got to frogs somehow. Let's read about frogs. I'm just kidding. I really should like try to think about music things. I guess we can look up Maroon 5. We'll figure out at least when they got together. 1994. They came together as Kara's Flowers in 1994 when they were in high school. Interesting. She Will Be Loved was on Songs About Jane. Songs About Jane is a good album. I will say, I will admit, that is a very good album. Animals are related to music, so it's not that far off. Your friends decided to research how to make a sandwich and somehow ended up learning about how to open a business out of that and immediately forgot all about it. That happens to me all the time. I always see things and I'm learning about them. I'm like, somebody could make a business out of that. But then I decide that somebody's not me. And I just push it out of my head. I push things out of my head all the time. Just because they're too much. Too much work. Things I haven't pushed out of my head, though. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do some clipping. And then I have one short that's really like, I have it in 3 shorts right now, but I want to condense it into 1 short. That's a little bit longer. And I've been putting it off for like at least 3 weeks now. So I need to get on that. But that's my goal for tomorrow. It's actually on a list and like scheduled in. I'm very excited about Wednesday, by the way. I don't know if you saw my schedule, but my I'm Billie is going to enter her villain arc. Well, if I guess dive further into her villain arc, because we kind of killed Agnes. But, you know, it's fine. RIP, rest in pieces. Big excite. Yeah, I'm so excited for the villain era, Billie. I have a feeling that we're going to lean spellcaster direction, because I kind of want to be like an evil queen in The Sims. Like, I want to learn all the magic spells, and then I want to make everybody my subjects and like threaten them with violence, you know? You can either be feared or respected, and I want to be respected because I'm feared. Burp, burp, burp. Enter. She's way too deep. She only killed one person! What do you mean she's too deep? When I kill a jerk, I'm in my villain era. But when Batman kills a jerk, he's a vigilante. Just saying. I'm a vigilante. Apparently we have more Miley Cyrus. Very excited. I wasn't sure to go villain or vigilante, but I do think I'm gonna lean villain. Because, you know, villains after you kill multiple people for no reason. And I think that, like, we kind of have to. There's some Sims that just don't deserve to live. I want to become more powerful than Vlad. Vladdy Daddy. I want to take out Father Winter because I think it'd be funny. I have plans. I have ideas. So we're importing more Miley. Smiley Miley. And let's see, how many CDs do I have left in this stack? We've got one of the members of Black Veil Brides, Radiohead, OK Computer, Jamie O'Neill, Lady Annabellum, Mariah Carey, and more Jamie O'Neill. Honestly, I think I'm going to do Radiohead, and then I'm going to leave it for the stack, because the other ones are kind of like, I grabbed them because I was like, oh, I might want to listen to those. But realistically, Sick Puppies and Radiohead are probably going to be the most played on this iPod. There's just too many! You know what CD I do really want is Breaking Benjamin Diary of Jane? Because I saw that Maroon 5 has one called Songs About Jane. But Diary of Jane. I guess that's on a different album. Phobia was the album. This album. I want this album on CD. I want it to be on my iPod. Stacks after stacks. And I still have my case. Wait a minute. Do I have Puddle of Mud. I have Skillet. I do have Breaking Benjamin, but I have the We Are Not Alone album. Breaking Benjamin. So I have the 2003 to 2005. Phobia was 2005 to 2007. But this is the one that I'm thinking about putting on here. Just made some cappuccino. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds so good. I love coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. I got a flavored coffee, which I'm usually not a fan of flavored coffee because I like to add flavored creamer into plain coffee, if that makes sense. But it's this one from Dunkin' Donuts, which again, I also usually don't like the Dunkin' Donuts ground coffee because it's usually a little too acidic. I like it from the shops, but usually the one you get in the bag from the store is actually like different than the ones they use in the Dunkin' Donuts locations. Whole rant, whatever. But I got this flavored coffee and it's like turtle coffee, not like the animal turtle, but like chocolate, caramel, pecan. It's so good. It's so good. It's like so dark. It's like the darkest roast I've bought in a while. And it's so good. And I can't stop drinking it. I mean, I'm not drinking it right now, so I guess technically I can stop temporarily drinking it. But you know what I mean? Like, I've had so much of that lately. It's so good. So good. I believe this is Evanescence. Doesn't directly say on here. Oh, no, it does. Tiny letters. Almost like you buying mayonnaise from a fast food that you rarely go to, but you love it nonetheless. Ah. I love mayonnaise. I put that shit on everything. I've randomly started picking up saying I put that shit on everything because I realized it was the slogan for Frank's Red Hot, but I don't put Frank's Red Hot on anything. And so I say it about everything else, and I don't know why my brain does that, but you know. I put that shit on everything. Ooh! I found my Spooky Sounds mixed CD that I made. I made that. And by made that, I mean I compiled it. Tell me why I have the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. When did I get that? I don't remember that. I got Phil Collins, Garth Brooks, apparently Dierks Bentley. I don't know who that is. Rascal Flatts, Hilary Duff Holiday album. Okay. See, this is what I was saying though. The Cyndi Lauper CD is very reminiscent of the Maroon 5 CD. They like match. They could be art together. As I'm trying to put it back. But like they have colors. They match. Those are the exact same orange. The exact same orange. Mind broken Billy forgot her 50 Shades arc. It was an arc. I mean, it kind of, I guess, was an arc for like, I was too young. I think The Weeknd's on that though, and Ellie Goulding. So I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's just, why do I have that? Ooh. And the kids turned to each other. One of my history teachers gave me this CD. When I graduated, they were like, he gave like a bunch to people who helped out at like actual graduation and like helped set things up and stuff. But he gave me the CD, and he gave one of my friends a Marina and the Diamond CD. And like, they're both really good tracks. Or good bands, I guess. But it was so nice. Let's see. Eject the Miley Cyrus CD. We're gonna put OK Computer in next. Good old Radiohead. From Capitol Records. Get in there. Thank you. Stick it in, stick it in. I don't know. I can't explain my brain anymore. I am like brain fried. Too brain fried to function. I just poked my computer screen with those. And there's more over here. Oh my goodness. I don't think I need any of these, do I? The White Stripes Elephant might be good to download or to import. Hawthorne Heights, Green Day, Bare Naked Ladies. But this is not the Bare Naked Ladies CD that I want. That's their greatest hits. But I have the one that has like one week since you looked at me. But it's not in here. Where is that CD? Why are my CDs missing? Oh. No, I'm just dumb. Dumb. It's Stunt. Stunt is the CD I was looking for. Wah. Gonna click that. Perfect. Sorry, going on a random mission to find certain CDs so that I can import them later. I should have gone through this thingy first, because honestly, half these CDs are probably getting so damaged by being in a CD case and not a jewel case. probably fine. But I do try to take decent care of my CDs. CDs always disappear, mostly because we forget what it looks like. Right? Like, I can remember the album art. And I wish that more bands would just put their album art on their actual CD. Make it easier for me to keep track. This used to be in alphabetical order, too, but at some point along the way, it just got super fucked. Same with my actual physical CD collection, like in the jewel cases and everything. They were organized by alphabetical order, and then I moved, and then everything got messed up. So I was literally sitting through there, and I was like, I just picking out individual ones from areas that did not make sense. They were not organized at all. I'm kind of going through a thing, though, like when I organize them, I don't know if I want to go through genre or if I want to go by name. And if I go by name, I don't know if I want to go by first or last name, because I feel like for most things you want to go by last name. But with artists, it's almost like you usually say their first and last name. Like, I don't know, who do we have here? Like Demi Lovato. I could put that under L for Lovato, but putting her under D makes more sense because then sometimes you have bands like Breaking Benjamin. I mean, both of those are B, so that's not a good example. But like Maroon 5. I wouldn't put them under F for 5. I would put them under M for Maroon. So I'm having a little bit of organizational trouble. Wait, since when does Z immediately come after B, right? That's basically it. That's basically it. I also found out that I have a lot more holiday albums than I realized. Like, I saw that I had a Phineas and Ferb Christmas album, and I was like, I didn't even know Phineas and Ferb had enough Christmas music to put on an album, or holiday music to put on an album. Like, some of it I'm sure is just like, It's Winter. But categorizing's so hard. And then another thing I need to do is go through and make like a Google Doc of all of my media. And I'm talking books, CDs, records, laser discs, cassettes, video games, everything. I need to make a list of everything I have so that when I go to like a thrift store or like a bookstore, I don't pick up copies because I am so bad. I have 2 of the same Shania Twain CD, and it makes me very upset. Because if I didn't buy the second copy of the Shania Twain CD, I probably would have picked up a different CD. But I gave myself a budget that day. It's frustrating. It's hard to keep track. But you had it. Yeah. And then I had it. And I didn't know. Now I have 2. It's like, what do I do with 2 Shania Twain CDs that are the exact same? I have a third that's a different album, but I don't know. OK Computer has 2 songs left to download, and then I think I might take a little break from this. That's the kind of boring process that you obsess over as a way to avoid doing what you have to do. That's fair. That's fair. Oh my god. Speaking of avoiding what I have to do, I did the most tedious little task that I've been putting off for forever today. And so when the last owners did my bathroom, they did some weird things with grout, right? So there's one tile that's missing, and I think that they were trying to remove other tiles to replace it with so that it would be less obvious. But they didn't do a very good job because they just slopped on grout between the tiles, and there was like these big bumps, and when you rubbed your hand along the wall, it would like literally scrape your hand. So I took a Dremel today and I like filed it down. I filed down the grout because I was like, I'm so tired of scraping my hand on it. But like, I'm just going through like fixing shit that pisses me off in my house. It's a very tedious process. I sanded and I patched again, and I sanded the holes in the bathroom that I shared a little bit back on Twitter. But there's still one hole that was just too deep that I have to patch one more time before I can paint. And I'm like, ugh. I thought I was done with that bathroom and so I could get to the painting, but I have to. It's annoying. Fixing a house, like, people talk about all the time, like, oh, HGTV, I love HGTV. Well, I love HGTV, but freaking nobody talks about how much work it actually is. A lot more frustrating than it seems on, like, Fixer Uppers and Property Brothers and My Extreme Home Makeover. Very difficult. Very frustrating. Very time-consuming. Especially when you weren't intending on buying the house to be a fixer-upper. You were just like, I'm just gonna live in this. See. I feel like... Is that all of them that I put in here? I guess it is. I did 10, 15, 17 CDs we ripped today. I thought I was gonna get much more done, but 17 CDs were ripped today. Plus the 5 that I ripped the other day. So, you know, I'm gonna consider that progress. It helps to use your anger or fury to focus on the task at hand. That's true. That's true. You gotta channel all the rage into productivity. It's just like, I don't want to fix it. When we moved in here, I took the doors off of 2 of the closets because the way that the closets were positioned, the bedroom door would like flop into both doors. You had to literally close 2 doors to open one or close one to open 2. It was a pain in the ass, right? So I took the doors off and I took the door jambs off and then I smoothed out the corners and the walls and everything of the arches. And I thought that was going to be my big project, right? Like, I thought that was the only big project I was going to have to do was fix the closets. And I completed that like a year ago. But now I still have so much to do. And the list just keeps growing. It just keeps growing. So tomorrow is my editing and home repair day. And then Wednesday, we're doing Sims. Then Thursday is going to be more home repair day. And then Friday, we're going to do more of the designing characters, which I'm also very excited about. I'm going to basically work on the template for the clothes in Vroid, like basically cut out. In Vroid, you have the texture maps that are provided to make the custom texture maps. So I'm going to be carving out of those to create the shape of the clothes that we're going to be putting on the models. And then I'm probably going to have to schedule another stream in the future to actually do the texture drawing and like adding the textures in. So it's going to be a multi-part series to make what I want to make, but I'm very excited about it because I think it'll just be fun. I think it'll be very fun. You imagine Mr. Goose arriving home and finding out that you dismantled something to fix it. That happens all the time. That happens all the time. There was one time he went on a business trip and when he came back, the entire living room was different. I had painted all 4 walls. I bought a new rug. I rearranged all the furniture and I bought 2 bookshelves and organized all the media. Because when you get that urge to do something, you gotta do it. But also, I'm the kind of person when somebody else is home, I can't do anything. I have to be like home alone to do things. Otherwise, I can't get the productiveness. I have to play music really loud and I have to dance around for like 15 minutes while I'm doing everything. It's great. I have a process. It's a process. I've also done like, he used to go on business trips quite a bit and I used to just like do a different room every time. Like I did our bedroom one time. I completely renovated his office because he was tired of how boring the colors were. And I was like, okay. And so I went out and I got 2 of the colors that he really likes. And then I painted it. The room technically was 3 colors because we had 2 accent colors and then the majority of the room was white. But I also like organized everything. I took pictures of where everything was so I could put it exactly back where it was, but neater. It was great. You had to take a door off of cabinet some time ago to fix that thing. Oh my gosh. I feel that. I have to take my doors off because they're like really dirty and really scratched. And I'm like, instead of replacing the doors, which is going to be really expensive, I'm just going to paint them because they're unpainted right now. and I think painting them will be good, but I have to take them off and take off the hardware, and then I gotta clean the doors, gotta roll the doors, gotta wait for them to dry, put them back up. It's gonna be a whole thing. I'm not looking forward to that. You're more active during late nights because of that? Yeah! I used to be like that, like when I lived with my mom. It would be 2 in the morning and she'd be like, Billie, why are you not in bed? And I'd be like, because I just rearranged my entire room. The feng shui was getting to me and I couldn't sleep. So. But yeah, we have plans for this week. So it'll be good. It'll be good. We'll have Sims. It'll be super chaotic and it'll be fun. At least that's what I'm hoping. I feel like it's usually more chaotic when I'm not planning for it to be chaotic, because, like, what the hell was the last Sims stream? But at the same time, I'm here for it. I'm here for the chaos. Let the chaos begin. So, I think I'm going to call it here, and I will see you Wednesday. I'm so excited. But it's time for this goose to fly the coop, because now she is pooped. So, I will see you then, and, yeah, I love you so much, bye!